like I said, I'm Katie Tenzillo. I'm the principal here at SRB. This is my first year as principal, and I was 2 years as the assistant principal prior. As you can see, we're all home. We were hoping to be in the building today, but the snow kind of threw us for a loop, and I didn't want the staff traveling with the streets not being clear today. So we're going to go ahead and get started with a prayer. That's how we start all of our events. So in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Amen. Almighty Father, you sent forth your Son as a beacon of hope for all people. As teacher, he has given us the prime example of the importance of education. As disciples, we look to him for your inspiration and strength. Thank you for the many sisters, brothers, priests, and lay people who have dedicated their lives in service to our Catholic schools. Thank you for the teachers and administrators who sustain our schools today. Thank you for the parents who have given support and witness to the importance of Catholic education in our daily lives. Thank you for the students who work hard to further their education. Bless St. Robert Bellarmine School and the many people who advance our mission. May our building be a home for those who seek to grow in faith, knowledge, and service of others. May our community always support one another and exhibit hospitality to newcomers. Fill our minds with knowledge and wisdom. May our understanding of the world help us to grow in appreciation for it. Fill our hearts with gladness. May we always turn to you in times of need. Fill our hearts with the tools we need to serve others. May we show them your unceasing love through our actions. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. So thank you everyone for joining us today. I know in our times of virtual open house is not exactly what we want, but it gives you a good glimpse into who we are. So we are going to go ahead and share a little video of just some pictures of what SRB is all about.
You guys see that?
No.
Oh, give me one sec.
There we go.
There we go.
Thanks, Nora. So today, we are going to hear from some of our staff. We have teachers from preschool all the way through our junior high that will give you some information. We also have 2 parents and a student with us today to give you some testimonials and just explain more about SRB. Here at SRB, we've offered so many different things. We have extra activities, including sports, art club, Latin dance. We have both Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts, plus all of our rigorous curriculum, which the teachers are going to speak more to about today. So I'm going to go ahead and have them get started. So teachers, just a reminder that you need to make sure you unmute yourself before you start talking. So we're going to start with Mrs. Belmonte. She's a pre-K3 teacher.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome. My name is Nancy Belmonte, and I'm the 3-year-old preschool teacher at St. Robert Bellarmine School. This is my 3rd year teaching at SRB. I have 13 years of experience of teaching 3- and 4-year-olds. I am certified in elementary education, as well as have a master's degree in early childhood education and an endorsement in special education. The preschool program focuses on the social, emotional, and academic skills of each student. I teach using themes that incorporate literacy, math, science, art, and music and movement. In religion, we learn various prayers and learn a Bible story each month. The students learn a letter of the week, as well as a number, shape, and nursery rhyme of the month. Our focus in preschool is the recognition of uppercase letters, recognition of numbers 1 to 10, fine and gross motor skills, as well as free playtime. Our playtime is a great way to help students learn to share, take turns, as well as a great opportunity for the teachers to model appropriate behaviors and provide the words needed to help them through situations during this time. For many students, this is their very first experience in school. We work with each student and family to ease the transition. There might be a few tears in the beginning, but it is okay. Being a parent myself, I am very cognizant of your child's emotions as well as yours. At times, a student may come into the building with tears. We will sit with your child and ease them as well as we can. At times, a student will enter school with those tears, but we will provide a nurturing environment, and before you know it, they'll be excited to come to school. I love working with the 3-year-olds and celebrating all the milestones they make throughout the year. I also enjoy the journey I take with the parents as we walk together through the year to enhance the experience for your child. Our 4-year-old pre-K program is an extension of our 3-year-old preschool program. In pre-K 4, we like to get the students ready and prepared for kindergarten. We work on math and literacy skills. In literacy, they focus on identifying letters, numbers, sounds, and incorporating some sight words into the curriculum. And in math, they work on recognition of numbers 0 to 20, as well as simple subtraction and addition problems. Both programs offer a very flexible schedule. You can choose part-time or full-time, as well as choose the days that you wish your child to attend school. I love teaching at SRB. It is a great community of parents, students, teachers, and administrations. Thank you for joining us today, and I hope to welcome your child into the hallway of our school.
Thank you, Mrs. Belmonte. And she truly nurtures all of the students. So yes, there are tears in the beginning, but the students love it. Once they're in the door, they're good. And we always tell parents that. And she always checks in with students who are having a hard time coming in, which I know puts a lot of parents' mind to ease. Next, we were supposed to have Mrs. Graysa, but she is having internet connection. So we'll get back to her once she comes on. And she's our kindergarten teacher. So we're going to move to 2nd grade with Miss Brand. Go ahead.
My name is Mary Brand, and I teach 2nd grade at St. Robert Bellarmine. I attended Catholic schools from elementary school through college, and I received my bachelor's in elementary ed with a reading teacher minor from Loyola University. This is my 3rd year teaching 2nd grade at SRB. In 2nd grade, we focus on practicing phonics and decoding skills so that the students are able to read fluently at a 2nd grade level. We also practice on reading accurately to support comprehension. We use the Super Kids curriculum from kindergarten through 2nd grade. And in 2nd grade, the children alternate between reading nonfiction children's magazines and fictional books, so that they can really practice their fluency and accuracy and increase their comprehension. In math, 2nd grade focuses on addition and subtraction fact fluency and place value up to 1,000. We use the Ready Math curriculum, and it really focuses on having the children learn multiple strategies to solve problems and being able to explain their work to classmates and show their thinking as they solved each problem. I use a variety of whole class instruction, small group work depending on the children's ability levels, and also independent work. And one of the most special things about 2nd grade is that the children receive their sacraments of First Reconciliation or Confession and First Communion. So we start to prepare for reconciliation in November, and usually the children would receive that sacrament in December. And they receive their First Communion in May, and we prepare for it in March through May. So we use the Blessed Are We curriculum in class. So I prepare the students, and we talk about the meaning and importance of those sacraments and why we celebrate them. And I also prepare the students so they're ready and know what to expect. But in addition to the in-class preparation, our Director of Religious Education provides families with a second book for the children to read through with their parents at home for each of those 2 sacraments. And there's a retreat for the parents and children together so that everyone is well prepared to celebrate those sacraments. From teaching at SRB the last 3 years, I can tell you that it's a very welcoming community and a great place to grow and learn. So I hope to see your family here in the fall.
Thanks, Miss Brand. Next, we are going to move to Miss Gracia. She is our kindergarten teacher, and hopefully her internet continues to be okay. Go ahead, Miss Gracia.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Rose Gracia, and this is my second year teaching kindergarten here at St. Robert's. However, I've taught kindergarten for 12 years, and prior to that, I've taught first, second, and third grade. And I feel that gives me a good perspective as to what the children need for where they're going to be going, and all of the learning that takes place in kindergarten is just a foundation for all of that. My undergrad degree is from University of Illinois at Chicago. It's a bachelor's in education. And my master's degree is a Master of Arts in Teaching Biological Sciences from Miami University of Ohio. And it has a focus on teaching science for young children. We have a very, very busy schedule during kindergarten. We start out our days with our prayer and our pledge. And after we do that, we begin our what you would call traditional kindergarten activities as far as calendar and our songs and saying the alphabet and counting and all of those things. After that, we continue with our religion classes, and we have our kindergarten is an actual book based, and also we kind of combine it with play. And so we actually have books. So like for our religion series, we have our Blessed Are We, and each one of these pages is done each day. And so all of our religion standards are met, from creation and learning who Jesus is and talking about God and prayer, as well as all of our seasons of the year like Advent, Lent, Christmas, Easter, and we have projects that we do during those times too. After that, we have our reading class and our math, and finally in the afternoon, we move on to writing. And so for beginning learning to print, we also have our handwriting book, and each one of the pages teaches one of the letters in a fun way for the students, and they learn to make those letters nicely and neatly. And then after that, we like right now at this time of the year, we're switching over to writing actual stories and learning all about periods and commas and capital letters. So we're really moving along at this point. In the afternoon, we do have a nap for a short time. It's about an hour. And before you know it, it's time to go home. Science and social studies is also addressed earlier in the day, just 1 or 2 times a week. And then we also have center time and play time and outdoor time and recess and snacks. So there's like so much going on all day long. We have different groupings that we teach with. Like, for example, we have our whole group, which we're doing kind of a lot of this year since we have our tables moved over and each child has a desk and has social distancing. And we also have small groups, and children do get together with partners from a distance for this year. And that really helps to get them engaged in learning and keep them hands-on with everything that we do. We use a lot of dry erase boards and markers, and we also have math manipulatives, which they use, and also our iPads for our iReady assessment and personalized learning. So we're busy doing all kinds of things all day. For our reading readiness, we use the Super Kids series. And you might see that somewhere around our school. We have some posters and things like that. And Super Kids begins with learning about 11 characters, and each character's name begins with a frequently used letter during reading. And then it after you learn all of those letters, they start combining them to form words. And it's a very phonetic program, and it helps the children really start learning how to read the stories, which we are getting to now at this point of the year. They also have games and an online component to the Super Kids, as well as storybooks that they can access from home and songs. We have a class library that the children use for self-selected reading. We really strive for a lot of independence in kindergarten and getting them able to tie their own shoes, zip their own coats, all of those kind of things, because that really fosters a feeling of confidence with the children, knowing that they can do it. And that's exactly what we want them to be able to know and feel in preparation for first grade. So I feel that they'll be ready to go once May and June come around and they have their graduation. And before you know it, the year is done. So thank you for joining us this morning. And I hope that you consider St. Robert's for your child in the fall.
Thanks, Ms. Gracia. And it's really amazing how much the students do learn in kindergarten and how independent they do become. And this year, even though we have these guidelines, I really feel like our kindergarten class is flourishing, learning and soaking up, and they're really starting to read. So it's awesome to see, especially from my position. So next, I know we just went from kindergarten, but we are going to jump to 5th grade, and we have Mr. Fisher with us, and he's going to talk about our 5th graders start in middle school, so what that looks like. Mr. Fisher, you got to unmute yourself.
Thank you, Katie. Hi, how is everyone doing? I appreciate you taking the time to come join us at our open house today. My name is Kevin Fisher. I'm a 5th grade teacher here at St. Robert Bellarmine. This is my 6th year here and 8th year overall as a teacher. This is my 2nd career. I went back and got my master's in elementary education. I was a copywriter before that. Usually in 5th grade, what we really try to do is, in a typical year, we begin to change classes. So we have some different faces that the 5th graders would typically see. We usually have reading and math. We begin to place them in advanced classes or on core curriculum classes, depending on how they're evaluated, and a few different measures. Some of them include iReady, which is our math program that we've just started last year. It's a computer program, and we also are using the math book series this year to help us better integrate the kids' development in their math skills. We also, in reading, break up into advanced and standard classes. So kids can be more challenged in their curriculum. I'm also the science teacher in 5th grade. We do typical life science and physical science. And I'm also the 6th grade science teacher, where we begin to teach a series from Loyola University of CPUP. And it's a emphasis on hands-on and group work. So basically, we are trying to we really try to hammer home writing introduction sentences and conclusion sentences for essays in 5th grade, so they're begin to be prepared for the rigors of our junior high, which I will let Mrs. Kunith talk about in a moment. Thank you, and have a good day.
Thank you, Mr. Fisher. Next, we have Ursula Kunith. She is our 6th grade homeroom teacher, but she also teaches within our junior high. So Mrs. Kunith, unmute yourself. There you go. Go ahead.
Well, good afternoon. I can attest to certain things that students have achieved. For instance, the 6th graders are very good at tying their shoes. And then also, I'd like to say that my emphasis is a little bit different. So first of all, my first degree is from the University of Illinois in political science, and I am also a career switcher like Mr. Fisher. I had my daughter and I decided to stay home. And then one of her teachers, she actually went to St. Robert's, which in my opinion is probably the highest recommendation, because I have not only, my daughter's been through here and now I'm teaching here. And I have to say something about how well we've done through COVID and all of our we've been able to organize our classrooms. And at first it was quite difficult, but we have been very rigorous and very successful, by the way, in welcoming children back to school. My second degree is a master's in teacher leadership from North Park University. My endorsements are in language arts, social studies, middle school. And I'm going to talk less about, I'll mention curriculum, but my main emphasis is taking a sixth grader and organizing them, teaching them, making them more independent, and teaching life skills, such as making academics most important in school. And also the service element. So I teach social studies to 6th, 7th, and 8th. It's American history and world history as well. I teach language arts. This year it's primarily, I teach the reading portion. It's primarily, mostly nonfiction, but there is a mix with fiction. I also teach science with the help of Mr. Fisher. And I love the science program because it's very strongly connected to social studies since it's earth science. We also have had, and I hope that we'll get back to that soon, various opportunities for students to learn other life skills. For instance, leadership. So I'm the moderator of Student Council. We are going back to a modified kind of student council now because of COVID. We also have students can be servers at Mass, and this is both regular Masses, funerals, and weddings. Another thing that we have done in the past is we've had a theater program, which is a favorite of mine since that's what my daughter does currently. And the idea of another important thing to me is the fact, and I think a recommendation for our school is that students come back, and we hear from them as they go through high school and college. And so I think that that is a very important element, which speaks to the quality of our staff and of our teachers and our collaboration as people of the church and as well as friends. So I think of all the places I have worked, and I worked in corporate before this, I never had the same feeling that I do. And our parents are, especially this year, our parent association is awesome. They take great care of us and they're always there for us. And I think all of that has made us a better community of teachers and a stronger community of people that work together for the benefit of their children. You know, we feel like we've been trusted with helping raise our students, and that's such an honor for us. And so I hope to see you in the fall. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Kunith. Next, we have our student with us. He is Matt Mazzidlo, and he definitely plays a big role in our school. Go ahead, Matt.
Hello, I'm Matt Mazzidlo. I'm 12 years old. I've been going to SRB since 3-year-old preschool, so about 10 years. I alter serve, I play basketball. I participated in plays when they were offered, and I'm the school mascot. Some things that SRB has helped me with that I've gotten a lot better with math. In 4th grade and 5th grade, I wasn't the best and I needed some extra help. But from my 6th grade and 7th grade math teachers, Ms. Rodriguez and Ms. Brzezinski, they've helped me get better and my grades have improved. I wasn't the most organized kid, but Mrs. Kunith helped me organize my desks and my books. And now my classroom may look a little messy, but I'm remembering all the things that I have to turn in when before I would forget. Sorry. I've gotten more mature and more responsible throughout SRB. I'm not that good of a public speaker, as you can tell, but and my plans for high school is I want to go to Lane Tech High School. I think I can make it from the skills that I've learned here, and I plan on taking the test next year. And I'm also going to test for St. Pat's High School and other Catholic schools in my area and high schools in my area.
Thanks, Matt. And you did an awesome job. As he said, he is our school mascot, and the students love him, especially our little guys, when they see him around school. And as you know, with COVID, it's been a little more difficult, but our Bobby Bruin has made some appearances this year. Next, I'm going to have Jeff Mizdidlo, his dad, talk about his testimony with our school.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm Matt's dad. And yeah, as Matt mentioned, we've been part of St. Robert the parish community and the school community since he was 3, so about 10 years ago. And the one story I like to tell, and you'll hear from Kathy Ernst, she was there when we came for our interview. We were actually selling a condo over by Wrigley Field, and we had actually sold it, but we did not find a house in this neighborhood. But we spent like 2 hours at St. Robert on our little tour, and the principal at the time and Matt got to play with the 4-year-old room, which I think Ms. Kathy was part of then. And we actually signed up like the next day. And so we didn't even have a house to live in around the neighborhood, but we had already signed up with SRB. And since then, I grew up in a Catholic, went to Catholic school growing up on the far southeast side of Chicago. And we were kind of looking, my wife and I, for a place where I had that same experience, and we found it here. I've done a lot here. I've been on the school board for 7 years. I'm now on the sports board, and I've also coached basketball. Unfortunately, we didn't have basketball this year. And I currently am in charge from the parent standpoint of our parent ambassador program. So you'll be hearing from me later for our prospective families for next year. And that group is kind of we're responsible for making the transition for the new families a little easier when they come to St. Robert. But 10 years is a lot of time to spend in one place, and we've never even thought about leaving. Matt's done very well here, and you heard from him, and I think for my wife and I, who's currently Vicky, she's on the school board now. It's just it's not just the school community, but the parish community, and it's the people that keep us coming back, from the great teachers that Matt has had, to the staff, to the parish community, our pastors, and those, really everybody around. You hear a lot of these schools will tell you that it's a great community, but I can honestly attest, that's what keeps us here. And it's a place where even when he graduates next year, we're still going to be involved. We're still going to be around. And I think that's something that we couldn't be more happy with, everything that that has gone on here. And we see how Matt's grown and become a more independent person. A lot of stuff that Mrs. Kuna talked about, Matt experienced, and he's doing very well. And we're very appreciative of everybody here that's allowed that to happen. And we hope you consider St. Robert. We'd love to have you, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeff, and thank you. Jeff does spend a lot of his time, both him and his wife, Vicky, giving back to SRB, so we appreciate it. Next, we have Mary Beth Nelson, and she also is very involved, and we appreciate all the time she gives us here at SRB, and she's going to talk about her perspective.
Hi, Katie. Thanks. Good morning, everyone. My name is Mary Beth Nelson. I've been at St. Robert Bellarmine for almost 16 years. I have 4 children. My 2 older kids graduated. I have a junior in college, and I have a high school senior at the moment. And then I have my 4th grader and my 1st grader at St. Robert's right now. I have so much I could say about SRB. It would take a long time, so I'm going to try and do it in a short time. But I have to say, my 2 older kids, St. Robert's, they were there since my son was the first full day kindergarten class, and my daughter Grace was the first preschool class at St. Robert's. And to this day, they will talk about Mrs. Kunith, who they will say is a great teacher. They have wonderful memories, and I feel like Catholic school to me, it's academics are great at SRB, but I feel like it's also the values that my kids kind of learn and walk away with, and it kind of shapes them into these wonderful, adults that they've become. And I feel like, sorry, I'm not good with I'm not good with Zooms and speaking. Sorry, I feel like my voice is a little shaky. Matt, I feel like you did better than I'm doing right now. But I have my fourth grader who's 10 will tell you she's been at St. Robert's for 8 years because she started at Tidy Tots, and she went through preschool and pre-K4 and all the way up to fourth grade now. And I have to say that she's kind of an anxious child. And when she was in preschool, I just was so happy, like handing her over to the teacher, and I could go to work. And the teachers at SRB are so amazing. They just treat my kids as if they're their own kids. And they're wonderful people. I feel like right now, in the way the world is right now, I'm so blessed with the teachers at SRB. The staff, everyone, it's just been amazing. And my kids are just love SRB. So I had so much more I was going to say, but I get all kind of choked up and stuff like that. So, but I feel like having kids on both ends of the spectrum going through it, I'm so glad that we're in school. I'm so glad we're strong, and I'm just happy to be a part of SRB. The community is amazing. The parents, the teachers, the staff, everything about it is just wonderful.
Thank you,
Sorry.
Mary Beth. Mary Beth is our president of our Parents Association. So the Parents Association does a lot for our school, from fundraisers to events to supporting our teachers and staff. They are so involved and so helpful. And Mary Beth and I are always in communication about what else can we do for our students and for our teachers. So thank you for all that you do for us.
Can I say one more thing? Can I say one more thing though? I do want to say another thing. My 10-year-old kind of struggles a little bit with math, and I have to say, kind of the one-on-one dynamic, I think, of the smaller classes and the smaller school. I feel like, there's so much attention that can be put on your child, and the communication between teachers and parents is amazing. I feel so comfortable texting or emailing a teacher about something going on, and that communication to me is just an awesome thing that happens, and I love it. So just want to say that.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Next, we have Kathy Ernst. She is our development director, and she'll talk you through a next step process if you would like a tour and stuff about SRB. So Kathy, go ahead and unmute yourself. Hold on, you're still there.
Hi, I'm Kathy Ernst. I'm a preschool teacher aide. I've actually started the preschool 16 years ago with the help of Sister Mary Lou and Mrs. Locke. I'm the development director. My connection to St. Robert's is over 20 years. My son went to school here, and I've been involved ever since. I volunteer, I've done fundraising, and I love the school. I'm the biggest cheerleader for this school. We do so much. We have great parents. We have a great community, and I'm so happy to be part of it. It's really like my home away from home. Most of you I probably have communicated with if you filled out our forms online. I've sent you emails, so you do have my email, so feel free to email me with any questions you may have. Also, I'll let you know about registration, and if you haven't had a tour already and would like a tour, once again, email me and we'll get that set up. So happy to see all you guys online here, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Kathy. So as Kathy said, our registration process for new families does start, and she can be in communication if you need any help or have any additional questions. So if you are interested in registering, you can bring your forms on February 1st, which is tomorrow. It is a $150 registration fee up until March 15th, and after March 15th, it is $200. So we give it a nice little bonus, $50 off. All of our registration forms are online and on our website. We put together a video that features more information about our school. It will talk more about our preschool programs and our different grade levels if you didn't get to hear the specific grade level you wanted to today. So with that being said, if you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and we can help answer any questions that you may have.
Can you share a little bit about what what the school is doing in regards to COVID and keeping everybody safe this year?
Yes, of course. So our school has been doing a wonderful job with COVID, and the parents and teachers here can attest to that. We have protocols in place. Our school gets deep cleaned every night. Our bathrooms get cleaned multiple times throughout the day. Students' desks are 3 to 6 feet apart. Everybody has to wear a mask. Only for lunch, they can come off, and the students are then at least 6 feet apart. We are constantly cleaning, wiping stuff down, reminding the kids to use the hand sanitizer. And really, the students have been great about everything, making sure their masks are staying on, making sure their hand sanitizer is being used, and then trying to keep them socially distanced as much as possible. So everybody has a desk. The desks get cleaned every night. The students in older grades tend to clean their own desks multiple times throughout the day as well. So we are really staying on top of it, and it is really serving us well. Our school has done really well with ensuring that our COVID cases are to a minimum, and what we're seeing is that it's being brought in from the outside and it's not being transmitted within our school building.
Katie, I don't know if you want to mention the cohort model that we use and
Yes.
what happens when there is a case.
And I was going to also say, Katie, about temperatures in the morning being taken, the kids.
Yes, I know.
With,
I wanted to
Perfect.
a temperature check.
So we do.
Something happening.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, so we do wellness checks every morning. So the students cannot enter the building unless their temperature's been taken. We've asked them questions, and then they stay within their cohort. So like first grade is a cohort. We really try to minimize them moving from place to place. So one of the only classes that they go to is the gym, and the gym is cleaned. We have windows open, our air purifier that help clean the air, and the teachers stay within the cohort. If we have a special teacher come in, they have to maintain their 6 feet of distance. So our art, Spanish, PE teacher, they all maintain their distance. And so then if we do have a case and the student has been in the building within 48 hours of them showing symptoms, then we shut that cohort down for 2 weeks. If the CDC, and we have within the Archdiocese a COVID task force who I consult with any COVID case, is saying that the infection period is 48 hours with someone starting to show symptoms. But our parent community has been awesome about, if somebody is showing symptoms in the house, the students are staying home, which then creates is safer for our students. So if mom starts showing symptoms on Monday, students stay home on Monday. If the student gets it by Thursday, we don't have to shut any of the classrooms down and move them to virtual learning, because there's been that 48 hours that they haven't been in the building when the student starts to show symptoms. So we really have, across the entire Archdiocese, strong protocols with wellness checks, making sure any sign, if somebody isn't feeling well, my recommendation is always to consult your doctor so we can ensure it's not COVID, and our families are really following that. And I'm so grateful. I hope that answers everybody's questions.
I had a quick question. So we have a 3-year-old, as you guys know, a toddler likes to run around, Nancy, I think teacher Nancy, that you teach that group of people. How many kids do you have per class, and how are they doing with the mask? Our daughter's doing fine, but it's just when they're surrounded by other children, sometimes it's not easy for them as 3-year-olds to follow that.
Right. So I'm amazed, but the preschoolers do a great job keeping their masks on all day long. They know they can pull it down for snack or when we're eating lunch, but I really don't have any issues with them wearing masks. I mean, myself, I wear a mask all day, and so does my aide. So we model it for them all day long. Even when we were going outside, we have a little learning garden that we play in, and I did not have them take their masks off because I felt like it's hard to separate them outside, and they were great about that too. So I have had no issues with them wearing masks. This year, I have the highest number of students I have is 10 on Wednesdays. The other days I have 7 or 8 students, so it's easier for me to separate them in the classroom. And it's just, this year has been a little different for teaching wise, but it's just getting them to learn that we're sitting at the table, then we're in groups. Maybe they play 2 together instead of like 5 together this year. But once they get into the routine, I mean, they're used to the routine and they're really good about everything.
Yeah, and
Nice,
they
nice.
don't know anything different when they start school, since this started in the beginning of the school year, all of these guidelines.
Right.
And so I'll answer for our pre-K 4s. Our largest day is 15, but again, our classrooms are very large and we can maintain the social distance within those. Did you have another question? I'm sorry.
So you also classes or Spanish teacher that comes in, once in a while. Is that for pre-K as well? Our daughter, she understands Spanish. I'm just curious, when does that start?
So we start Spanish in 3-year-old preschool. They have it once a week. They have gym 3 times a week and they have art once a week. My 8 is also Spanish though, so she talks to them a lot in Spanish throughout the day. I'll sing a song and then she sings it in Spanish. So they're picking up more. It's interesting how quick they pick up Spanish.
Yeah, because she speaks English and, we kind of find it beneficial because grandma speaks Spanish. So, having extra help in school, it is a nice plus.
Yeah.
Good to hear. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
We had a question about,
go ahead.
We had a question about a daughter turning 4 on September 9th, 2021. Is she eligible to join preschool for 4 years or does she have to join the 3-year-old group?
So our guideline is that they are 4 by September 1st. So they would have to move, they would be in the 3-year-old group. So the next question in the chat was share about after school options. So, and what age does it start? So we have a before and after school program. It starts at our 3s. So we have some of our 3-year-olds who are in the before care and some of our 3-year-olds who are in the aftercare. I believe it is $10 a student for the aftercare. Right, Mrs. Ernst, sorry. Say that. You're still muted.
It's $10 in the afternoon and it's $3 in the morning.
In the morning. So we do offer care from 7 a.m. is when the students can start to arrive until 6 p.m.
I just have a quick question about technology for the 4-year-old group. What types of technology are available for the kids, or do they have any kind of tech training that young?
Yes. So we have iPads available for our preschool, 3s and 4s, kindergarten and 1st grade. And then in 2nd grade, they are starting to transition to our Chromebooks. So our pre-K 4 teacher does use the iPads within the classroom, and they are getting to learn it. So it might be through apps in other places. In our preschool and our preschool programs, it is available, but it is something that's not used throughout the day because our program is more play-based. Ms. Belmonte, do you have anything to add to that?
We use apps periodically, but it's not something that they sit on throughout the day. No, we probably maybe pull it out maybe a couple times a month, just because we're doing other activities and they're interacting with one another rather than just using screen time all the time.
Thank you.
Also the 4-year-olds. I don't know if they can. Also
Yeah,
the 4-year-olds. Okay. Also the 4-year-olds do when probably when COVID's over with, we'll start going back down to the computer lab. They do start on the Chromebooks when the 4-year-olds do Chromebooks. So they're starting on learning how to work the keyboard and through games, learning games. But right now, because we cannot go down to the computer lab, we do bring the Chromebooks in on Mondays because we don't have a special on Mondays. So we bring the the iPads on Monday, and they're allowed to do some educational games then.
Are there any additional questions?
I have one more. I'm sorry. I'm curious uniforms as well, and is the what the uniform policy is, or how does that work with PE as well?
Yeah, so our preschool children do not wear a uniform. Kindergarten, they can wear a gym uniform or our what we call full uniform. So our gym uniform is sweatpants and a gym t-shirt that can be purchased through School Bells. We also have a run-a-thon every year, and they can wear a previous run-a-thon shirt with our gym uniform. So actually this year we've allowed for the students to only wear gym uniforms because of the mask. And it was especially difficult with the summer, they could wear their shorts and their t-shirt with their mask. So right now they're only in their gym uniforms. And then we have our full uniform, which for boys is a collared shirt and dress pants. For girls, it can be their skirt, a collared shirt. And then for some of the younger grades, it is their jumper. It is within our handbook, all of our guidelines. They need to have their black or brown shoes or navy that go with it. And so on gym days, they need to be wearing their gym shoes. And all of that can be purchased through School Bells. And we also, in the past, but it's not as strong this year, have had a used uniform where parents can purchase for discounted prices that we could also allow you to look at and see if we have any uniforms available in your child's size.
There's a question about extra, like after school programs. Are they meeting through COVID? Are we playing sports these days?
So unfortunately, all of our extracurricular activities have been canceled due to COVID. It is our guidelines through the Archdiocese. The students are not playing after school sports. That's all been put on hold with COVID. And so our hope is going into next year with restrictions, we can continue that. But as you know, COVID is evolving, and our goal is to maintain in-person instruction and to maintain our cohort models. And with some of those extracurriculars, we cannot do that.
Perhaps Jeff can speak to the sports that we do have during healthier times.
Sure, yeah. So what we do is you can start playing the actual school sports in 4th grade through the City Suburban Conference, which includes a lot of the neighborhood schools, as well as a couple of schools in Park Ridge, St. Mary Mary Seat of Wisdom, St. Paul the Cross. There's about 10, 12 schools depending on the sports. So the sports season is broken down starting in the fall with co-ed soccer and co-ed cross country. And then it goes into the fall winter season, which is boys and girls basketball. And then the winter spring, which is volleyball, boys and girls volleyball. And then in the spring, there is track and field, baseball, softball. I believe I think that's it with that. Again, a lot of these just depend on if we have enough people to take part in some of the sports we do, some we don't, most of them we do. We also kind of co-op with St. Constance nearby because they don't have enough kids to field a lot of their sports teams, so they play with us. And also, I believe, are we still doing the I don't know, we used to do a thing called Little Bruins, which was from like kindergarten up till third grade. Okay, which is so the organized sports start in fourth grade. Fourth and fifth are what are called exhibition or they don't keep standings. The games don't count. Once you get into sixth, seventh, and eighth for all the sports, then the games count. Except for the JV, I think there is for soccer that might be different, where the stuff does count for soccer. But beforehand, so I think it's third grade, and then maybe starts in kindergarten. We have a thing called Little Bruins, and that's just kind of almost like an intramural type stuff for some of the sports, kind of getting them ready to play our organized sports once they start. And that's offered through the, Ms. Tenslow, if you want to explain
Yes,
that. I know it's changed over the years.
So Miss Mackey, our PE teacher, and actually Mr. Fisher have offered Little Bruins. Mr. Fisher, do you have anything to say about Little Bruins?
Sure. Yep. So Little Bruins is we usually meet about once a week, and it's for about an hour. And it really just teaches the younger kids, your 3-year-olds, your 4-year-olds. I think we even allowed up to second grade, just to learn a different sport after school. So we do run 2 different programs, the 3 and 4-year-olds and the 5 and 6-year-olds. And it is Miss Mackey and I. And we just choose a different sport per week, and we just kind of work on some basic skills of that sport, and they're able to interact with their friends. But again, that is postponed this year, and hopefully we'll have it back next year.
Yes. Mary Beth, did you have something to say?
I
say
was going to add
quick?
too, but go ahead, Mary Beth.
I just wanted to say really quick, obviously with my 4 kids, with the after school stuff, my older kids and my younger kids both have done the extended day program, and they loved it. Mrs. D. Decker's amazing. I would go to pick my kids up and they wouldn't want to leave. And there was also a lot of other classes. I know, like my older daughter took chess. Young Rembrandts is an art class. What I really loved about it was the classes started right after school ended. So, you don't have to, your child goes right to that class after school. So it was kind of nice for working parents, or just if you had something and you couldn't get to school, you knew that day that they had maybe an hour of another program after school. And they always loved going to those programs. They especially loved that they got to see their friends sort of outside of the classroom. So I just wanted to say that too.
Thank you. Okay. So if there's no other questions, we will come to an end for our virtual open house. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Please feel free to reach out to me. Please feel free to reach out to our school office and to Mrs. Ernst if you want to schedule a tour. If you have any questions, we are all available, and we hope to see you in the fall. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you to our staff and teachers for giving up some of their Sunday to be with us.